What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel today, and we are back on Gran Turismo 4 for another car stories. Today in the Dodge Viper Oreca race car from the late 90s slash early 2000s. It raced for a handful of years, but this is a pretty special car for a lot of reasons. It's pretty famous in the the Gran Turismo circles as well. So we'll talk about it a little bit, but take a moment to admire the detail and the craftsmanship. Even on the race car, the little Viper badge on the back is your third brake light. So let's do a standing start here. We are at the Infineon or Sonoma or Sears Point, whatever you want to call it, road course version, the sports car version, I should say. Sorry, not the NASCAR version that cuts off from turn 6 to turn 9. So let's do a launch and then we'll talk about it. Car is obviously quite fast, quite loud. Very notable, famous car. Obviously, in real life, the Dodge Viper is pretty incredible. And this race car was very incredible for a number of years, from the late 90s into the early 2000s. Basically, from the late 90s until the C5R crew, the Corvette crew, got their act together in the early 2000s. This car was the dominator. This was the one to beat. It won every major race in North America for sure, and then won quite a few races in Europe, including, I believe, 24 Hours of Le Mans at one point. But this car was incredible. It was raced by Team Oreca, it was raced by Zaxbyte, it was raced by the Chrysler factory team, or what was left of the Chrysler factory team. Just an incredible car, just amazing piece of machinery, and so dominant for its era, and kind of goes forgotten, honestly, compared to some of the other amazing GT cars at the time, some of the Aston Martins, Ferraris, etc. And then, of course, the C5R is the one that everybody remembers from this era. But this car is just as incredible. Not quite as successful, but for its time, definitely had its dominant period. And of course, think about what this car is: V10 race car, tons of power, tons of torque. Manual transmission, just everything that a good race car should be, especially back in the late 90s. This car was. And it's an absolute weapon. This car is known in the Gran Turismo 4 realms for some of the license challenges that it's featured in. And it's just an incredibly difficult car to master. I think it was Gran Turismo 2, perhaps, the one at Laguna Seca. One of the hardest license challenges in all the Gran Turismos, as rated by most people there. Really good players and drivers, so something to keep in mind. But again, this kind of Sonoma, now that I'm looking around, green grass looks pretty cool. Always a little bit different than what you usually see when NASCAR visits here or other sports car series, where it's usually quite dried out. Almost kind of looks sandy, but it's actually dead and dried grass, I do believe. But anyways, again, this car is just incredible. I don't have a huge personal affinity for this car. Just look at that front end. Oh, it'd be nice if I turned into the corner. I grew up after the time of this car's dominance for sure, but still have a lot of respect for this car. And it's pretty personal to me because the Gen 2 Viper is my favorite of the Viper generations. The kind of 96 to 02 Viper generation is my favorite personally. I think that it's the prettiest, it's the most aggressive in my mind, it's the craziest, but at the same time it was right when they started having some creature comforts. I think right at the end of this generation they started to have ABS as an option on some cars, and again it was a little bit more creature friendly. As far as creature comforts go, not very much. We're still talking about Vipers here, and they were still quite the brutes of cars, but just friendly enough where you could drive it semi-regularly and not like kill yourself. So yeah, just an incredible car, obviously a dominant race car. The sound of this car is not really accurately portrayed through the game, but it still sounds pretty dang good. Obviously an incredible car aero-wise, with the huge diffuser, huge rear wing, very aggressive front end on this car. See if I can finish out a decent lap here, but yeah, just quite a special car for sure. Incredible looking car, an incredible driving car, and definitely one of the best and most notable, again, American race cars ever made. A great corner there for me, but it wasn't the worst, I guess. We'll get through here much better this time while I'm paying actual attention. So see if we can get around here in sub 26. I imagine we should be able to without too much issue, as long as I don't have any other flubs. Just incredible grip. And yeah, again, this car was actually just as successful, or maybe even more successful, I'm not exactly sure, but very successful in both America and Europe, which is pretty rare, especially from a car of this era, an American car. I mean, really the only other car that fits that bill, if you count some of the Mustangs of back in the day, the Roush Racing teams, the Trans Am IMSA World GTO, whatever team. Some of those Mustangs were very, very successful overseas as well, but really it's just this and the C5R from this era that were extremely successful. So yeah, pretty special company. Obviously the C5R is among, like I said, the best race cars of all time. So to be even in the conversation and in consideration alongside that shows you just how good this car was. So really, really pretty car. Very successful car. There's a 24.4. We'll take that. Yeah, I mean, just look how pretty this is. Got the big endurance racing fog lights on the front so you can see at night on the streets of Le Mans and other places around the world, of course. This car, of course, raced in the dark, presumably at Road Atlanta and probably some more other places. Daytona, obviously. I believe this car won Daytona I'm trying to think of when the C5R started racing. I think it was 99. And so this car must have won the Daytona 24 in either 99 or 2000. I can't remember. But then, like I said, 99% sure it won Le Mans. Probably won, again, just about every other IMSA race, or what's now IMSA. I guess I don't know if it was American Le Mans or Grand Am, because I think those came after. But whatever the sports car series in America was in the late 90s, early 2000s, this car dominated the GT class for quite a while. So I think technically this is a GT1 car or a GT2 car. It's definitely not a GT3. I'm trying to think of what the Corvette was, the C5 Corvette. Definitely wasn't a GT3 car. That was like the Porsche 911, the BMW M3 GT. Those were GT3s of the era. This is definitely either a GT1 or GT2. I'm not quite sure which, but again, just an amazing car. And again, for the time, definitely one of the best performing race cars in the world. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely a good car to highlight, a special car. And one of my favorites of all time for sure, just based purely on generation and body style alone. But again, obviously the success that plays into it makes it just as good. So I appreciate you all so much. I hope you're enjoying this one. Hope you're enjoying the series still. Make sure you drop that like, sub down below if you're new. And we'll be on to what's next. So I appreciate you all. But until next time, as always, bye-bye.